Imagine how you'd feel if suddenly you lost all sense of why you're here. Pretty upsetting, right? Or think about being in a tough spot, struggling to make sense of things. Then, boom, you come across a gem of advice like, take one step at a time. This piece of wisdom turns your world around, making everything seem brighter and more doable. But what if one day it just slips your mind? Trying to recall it but drawing a blank would be frustrating, especially since it meant so much. Now, these points might seem straightforward, but there are a few other benefits of jotting things down that don't get enough airtime. Writing stuff down kind of lifts a burden off you. It's like you no longer have to stress about keeping that idea in your head. Just note it down, and voila, it's safe to forget until you need it again. This practice cuts down my stress significantly. Whenever I'm hit with a bunch of ideas or insights, I write them down. It's a relief knowing I don't have to hold on to them anymore. I can revisit them whenever. Not many folks discuss this advantage. And I haven't even touched on the fact that writing enhances memory. You've probably heard this, but it's true. Being able to remember things I felt were worth writing down definitely eases my mind. So, it's a win-win. You boost your memory of crucial things and, at the same time, relieve yourself from the mental load of trying to keep track of everything. Let's break this down to basics. Ever had a moment where you didn't need to remember something until it was crucial? Plus, if you're dealing with tough emotions, scribbling down your thoughts and feelings can really help sort through the chaos in your mind. It might even lead to some eye-opening insights. But here's a curveball. Can this old-school writing trick pull you away from endless scrolling on your phone? Back in November 2022, I found myself in a bit of a pickle, feeling lost and hunting for meaning in life. I thought chasing after money might patch up the emptiness. With a whirlwind of thoughts, I decided to start something I called my thoughts log. However, I made a crucial error. Instead of writing my thoughts on paper, I typed them on my phone. This approach turned out to be pretty ineffective for me. Typing didn't help me remember much, and though it gave me a place to revisit my thoughts, I quickly forgot about the whole endeavor. So, mission not accomplished. Worse still, each time I opened my phone intending to jot down my musings in the Notes app, I'd accidentally stumble upon TikTok or some other app. Before I knew it, an hour would vanish into thin air, all because I got sidetracked from what I initially set out to do. Around that period of struggle, I was also on a quest for a new purpose or spark. Day in and day out, I searched, but nothing stuck. The problem? In the simplest terms, I kept making the mistake of hunting for inspiration or a new direction in life by scrolling through my phone, hoping that TikTok or some other app would magically present me with a brilliant idea. Spoiler alert, that never happened. The lesson here is twofold. Not only is typing out your thoughts on a digital device less effective than the old pen and paper for memory and inspiration, but the chances of getting sidetracked by some app or notification are pretty high. But here's where the magic happens with writing the traditional way. When I actually write things down, not only do I remember ideas better, but it also gives me a break from my phone, which is a win in my book. Moreover, the act of writing puts me in a special kind of zone, a creative zone where one thought naturally flows into the next. So, how does this process boost creativity? As I began to physically write down my thoughts, an interesting thing happened. I'd jot down one idea, which would spark another, then another, and suddenly, I had a cascade of thoughts flowing onto the page. Before I knew it, I'd filled a whole page with fresh ideas in just a few minutes. This was a bit of a light bulb moment for me. Writing not only captures fleeting thoughts before they disappear, but also allows you to explore these ideas more deeply later on. It's like hitting pause on your brain's creative output so you can dive back in when you're ready. This ties back to the earlier point about reducing stress. Knowing you've captured your thoughts on paper means you don't have to cling to them in your mind, freeing up mental space. Additionally, the process of taking notes helps in spotting patterns and making connections between your thoughts. It's this aspect of note-taking that turns it into a powerful tool for unleashing creativity by laying out your thoughts in a tangible form where you can easily connect the dots. Seeing the links and patterns among your thoughts can really open the door to new ideas and big discoveries. I've had a few moments like this myself, especially during times when I felt really low. Writing down my thoughts allowed me to connect the dots between different aspects of what I was going through, helping me understand my feelings more deeply. Sometimes, what I found was more profound than I anticipated, but that's the beauty of putting pen to paper. Here's the thing, even if you're convinced you'll remember that brilliant idea you just had, chances are you won't. So, do yourself a favor, grab your notebook and write it down. It's such a relief to get those thoughts out of your head and onto paper. Before you know it, this simple habit could make a huge difference in your life, leading you to insights and solutions you never imagined. And who knows, in the midst of those pages, you might just find your next big breakthrough.